Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our our webinar today. And it is on the topic of front lines with some of the industry's leading store managers. So, we normally, our webinars include panelists that are store owners. So this is pretty unique today that we actually have some of our store managers who probably a lot of times are behind the scenes at the laundromat. They're going to share some very valuable information today with us. I'm going to share my screen so I can introduce our panelists. So with us today, we have Gina Daniels, and she is the store manager for 3 laundromats in Georgia, Evan Mills Laundry, Conyers Best Laundry, and our Best Laundry. We also have, Nancy has not joined us yet. She may join us a little late, but we also have Craig Holloway from Tampa Laundry Company. So just for the audience, this topic was actually the feature article in the April issue of Planet Laundry. So you can see here, this is what the cover looked like. So both Gina and Craig were interviewed, as well as some other managers. So, following this, you want to do a little follow-up. This is the issue that you can go to. All right, I'm going to stop sharing so we can see their faces, and let's dig right in. So Gina, I'm going to start with you. So just so the audience kind of understands how you came to be working in a laundromat, the magic question, if you can start a little bit with your background. So how long you've been in the industry, kind of how you got there, and how long you've served as the store manager.
Well, hello, everyone. I've been a store manager, I say 7 years now. I started in 2017 as an attendant. At first, I was a customer, and I was so impressed with how clean and the store was, and it was decorated so nice. So I asked the attendant on duty, are you hiring? And she gave me the number to call, and that's how I started. And I worked as an attendant for 1 year, and then I was offered the position as a manager, my first location, which was Evans Mill Laundry.
Your way up fast. Craig, so same question. If you could share a little background about how you stumbled into the laundry industry, how long you've been in, and how long you've served as the store manager.
Okay, well, our company, Tampa Laundry Company, next month is coming up on its 10th anniversary. And I have been with the company 7 of those 10 years. I have had the privilege of serving as manager for 5.5 of those years. So how I got involved, as you all know, anyone that has a minimum understanding of human nature, humans, we're drawn to great people and we are drawn to great endeavors. The owner of our company, Amy Martinez Mumford, I consider her to be a person of greatness, and also the laundry company that she started to be a great endeavor. So after having a conversation with Amy, sharing her ideas, her visions, her aspirations, her goals, uh, I was excited about what she shared. I was inspired and I wanted to be a part of it. And I'm happy she is allowing me to take this journey with her.
Great. Yeah, I actually happen to know both of your bosses, both the owners. So Amy Martinez Momfort, Yvette Morton Williams, both great operators. For those of you who participate regularly on our webinars, you have probably seen them as panelists at times as well. All right, so next question. Craig, I feel like you just answered this one on what drew you to the industry, which is good people and Amy's enthusiasm and energy and the way she runs the company. How about you, Gina? What drew you to the laundry industry or to the job that you're serving?
My background is in electronics. I spent over 20 years in the electronics field, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in between, and I get bored easy. And so one that day when I asked about the job, I noticed after working about 3 or 4 months, I was never bored, and no 2 days were the same. So I that's what drew me, and I said, okay, I like this. I like this.
So a big question that comes up a lot for our store owners, when they're looking at either hiring a manager or maybe now they've taken on a few stores and they need a manager is they're looking at what benefits should they offer someone that would entice them to want to be a store manager. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, Craig, we'll start with you. Some of the benefits that you get, maybe paid time off, retirement, things like that. What's sort of part of your benefit package?
Well, that's a great question. First and foremost, I have a competitive salary. In addition to that competitive salary, I have paid time off. I have the use of a company vehicle. There are bonuses involved. Uh, I have the free use of our facility for my own personal laundry needs. And something very unique, Amy offers a year-end savings match to all of her employees. She wants to encourage us to get in the habit of saving and being wise investors of our hard-earned money. So if at the end of the year, if you have saved up a maximum amount of $1,000, the company matches that. And let me just tell you, that comes in real handy coming into the holiday season.
Wow. All right. So any store owners that are listening in here, mark that benefit down. That's a
That's
really
pretty
great,
good.
unique benefit. How about you,
Absolutely.
Gina?
Yes, we have competitive salary. I have a competitive salary as well. We have 401k, in which they match. I think it's 4%, the max, and then we also have profit sharing also as well.
So you have a vested interest in the company doing well
Yes,
because you're
yes,
profit sharing. Great
yes.
idea. Very unique ideas. All right. So I assume this might be a little different for both of you because the facilities you work in are a little different, but this time we'll start with you, Gina. So in just, let's say, a typical day, which I don't know if there's ever a typical day in a laundromat, but your
Right.
average day, what are kind of your main responsibilities as the manager?
It varies from day to day. If I'm on site working at one of the stores, I'm an attendant plus my managerial duties. But it's make sure I support the team members, making sure they have their supplies, making sure I answer any questions, whether in person or by phone, if they're having concerns with customers or dealing with customers' issues or the machine issues. And also just being supportive to the team members.
Great. How about you, Craig? What is kind of an average day for you?
Well, on a daily basis, I oversee the entire operations of the laundromat. I That includes the hiring. Unfortunately, at times the firing. I I'm over the supervision of the work personnel. Uh, it involves training on a day-to-day basis. It involves the scheduling of the work, making sure that the team morale is high, that the team meshes together. That's where we tend uh, to do our best work, and just to keep the team encouraged and motivated. I found out uh, my wife and I, we just celebrated our 37th wedding anniversary. There's an old saying out there that says
Congratulations.
"Happy wife, happy life." Well, when it comes to the laundry mat industry, if you have a happy team, you you're going to have happy customers.
Mhm.
Yes. So you're the coach and the cheerleader.
I'm the I'm what you call a player's coach. Okay, and that's important because from Amy all the way down to the person that just been hired, we never ask them to do anything that we haven't done or unwilling to do ourselves. So we lead by example. And so, yes, some days you're the disciplinarian, and other days you're the cheerleader. Um, when we have to, when I have to confront a team member, I make it a habit to, when they do something well, to praise them in public so that everybody can see and hear. And then when they do something that I need to confront, I praise in public, I correct in private, unless it was something that they did in the front of the entire team that I have to address it to the entire team. Um, if at the end of the day, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And people who really know that you love and value them, see their potential, when you have to deal with them on either aspect, they really appreciate it and have respect for you.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I
One
agree.
question I should have asked you at the beginning, is how many team members, work at your facilities? Like, how many do you manage? Gina, how many employees are there, I guess?
It's about average about 6 at each laundromat that I manage. So what is that? 18.
Okay.
About
And
18.
how
Mhm.
about you, Craig?
Well, we have two shifts presently. On our day shift, we have a total of 5 employees. On the evening shift, we presently have 2 employees, and we're looking to hire additional help for the weekends. So
Okay.
when it's all said and done, we'll have anywhere between 10 and 12 employees.
Okay, great. Um, so one thing that's really important, any new job, is the training that you got to make you successful. So, Craig, we'll start with you this time. What were some of the training resources that Amy or somebody provided to you that helps you be successful in the job?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it, because when it came to me joining this very unfamiliar industry, I was that square hole that you were trying to get into, that round hole you're trying to get into a square peg. But
Mhm.
one thing that was beneficial to me, I had on the job training. Uh, the operations manager at the time had over 20 years of experience. So I was able to shadow him and glean from him. I also took it upon myself to self-educate by reading magazines such as the wonderful one that you publish. But I also know this. It has been said that if you need to have major surgery, do you want that doctor who just has book knowledge or that one who had a medical residency? So even though I pride myself in the book studies, the on-the-job training was definitely most helpful. And then Amy did something for me. She invested in me by bringing in expert consultants in this field that work with me for weeks at a time on a one-on-one basis. So that's not something that I ever asked for, but she saw potential there. And when you have an owner that's willing to invest in you, and these consultants that she brought in, they weren't cheap. But when she made that investment, uh, I took such pride and humility in that gesture of hers, that if I wasn't fully committed up to that point, I definitely was after that. And I hope, now that we look back, I hope she feels that she's getting a return on that investment.
Sure, she is. How about you, Gina? What type of training was provided to you?
Well, when I first started, I took it upon myself to read articles on how to become a good manager, conflict resolution,
Yeah, that's a big
how to
one.
bring encourage team members. And then also the owner, Yvette, she invested so much in me. She saw in me what I didn't see in myself.
Mhm.
And I appreciate that because she saw that my potential. And she sent me to several leadership classes, and she's always investing in me some kind of way that will help benefit not only me personally, but definitely the business.
Yep.
I see a very common theme there that your owners saw something special in each of you and decided to make the investment to, make you a better manager. So that's great to hear.
Yes.
Um, so I'm kind of watching the chat, and I should have mentioned at the beginning that if you have questions for Gina or Craig, you can type them there. So one question that just came up is that they're wondering how large, like if you know how many square feet your facilities are, so they can kind of understand the context for the number of employees. Gina, I know it's 3 different laundromats, so maybe kind of the average size, or if you want to share all 3.
Know the square footage. I don't know the square footage. I could tell you that starting from the smallest one, which is Eversmill Laundry, they have 22 washers, 22 dryers.
Okay.
The medium sized one has, which is Conyers, has 32 washers and 32 dryers. And our largest one I manage, Covington, it has 36 washers and 36 dryers.
Right, that's good. That I think that helps people understand the size. How about you, Craig? Your facility, do you know square footage or?
Yeah, if I had to guess a rough number, we have the uh, main building, and then directly behind it, we have an adjacent building where we divide the work. So if I were to count the square footage in both of those buildings, I would say we're somewhere right between 3,000 square feet.
Okay,
Yeah.
good size.
Hmm.
Um, all right, let's see. We will go with you, Gina. So what is your favorite part of the job?
Oh my goodness, it's the customers. The customers, honestly, interacting with the customers and seeing the attendants. When I walk in the store, they're laughing and giggling with the customers, and having the customers having a great experience and seeing that I'm a part of the community.
Very nice. I think sometimes that customers could also be the least favorite part of the job, depending on your customer. But that's good. You have good customers. How
Yes.
about you, Craig? What's your favorite part of the job?
All right. Well, my favorite part of the job is actually twofold. Um, being the leader of a team, most of us spend more working time hours with our team than we do at home with our family.
Yeah,
So when I have a team that meshes well, when I have a team that's motivated and they work together well and have high standards of putting out a quality work, that just really makes me excited. And then also the connection that I have with our customers. Now, I know from a professional standpoint, you're supposed to use that term customer, but I detest that word. We tell everybody that comes to Tampa Laundry Company, if you visit us 3 times, if on that third time you don't feel like a friend or extended family, we're doing something wrong. So I get excited when we have customers come in the store. They've got this item that they have an emotional connection with. There's some stain in it, and they're just distraught thinking that they're going to have to discard it. They don't even make it anymore. I don't know if I could ever get another one. And then we put our little magic on it, a little this chemical, a little that chemical. And then when they come back to pick that item up, and that item that they thought they were going to have to throw out, it looks close to being new again. To see them bursting with joy just does my heart good. And you're making a connection with the customer when they say, um, I just got a new washer and dryer. I was only coming here because I was waiting for my new washer and dryer to come in. But now that I have them, You guys make me feel so good and so welcome. I'm still going to be coming to this laundromat just to be with you all. So that's really exciting. And then when they go on vacation, and when they get back from the vacation, and they brought you souvenirs, and they're showing you their pictures from Paris and their pictures from the Caribbean islands. Boy, I'm going to tell you what, there's nothing better than that. And the advantage of that is, uh, I read something years ago. We all want the best quality of life that we can afford. But I read something years ago that says the best things in life are not things. So I value relationships. And what I've discovered, no laundromat is perfect. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be disappointment. But when you have a solid connection relationally with people, they tend to give you a pass.
That's so true.
Right, that's true.
Yes, great advice.
Mhm.
All right, we have a bunch of questions, so I'm going to try to go back and forth between mine, and I want to make sure these get answered because there's some good questions. So I think this is a store owner saying that currently their most frustrating problem is when people don't show up or show up late or call out last minute. Can you, either of you, speak to how you handle that or prevent it? Or did you just have to keep getting new people until you got a quality crew? And how long did that take?
Well, to answer that, I would say Amy and I had this conversation a few weeks ago. We both noticed the change after COVID. When COVID hit and businesses shut down, people stayed home, the government was giving companies buyout and giving people stimulus checks. Well, after COVID was over and it was time for people to come back into the workplace, a lot of them had gotten used to just sitting home, collecting free money. They didn't want to come back to a structured uh, workplace. And so what we ended up doing, we believe in OQP, only quality people. And sometimes you go through five before you find that one good one. But I will tell you this, if you're earnest and you're persistent, that one good one will make a world of difference in your business. So don't be discouraged. I told Amy this once. When we bring on a new hire, I can tell within the first 2 weeks if that person is just there to collect a paycheck or if they've really bought in to the vision and the goal of the company. If they're just there to collect a paycheck so they can pay bills and have some leisure money on the weekend, they're not going to want to make the sacrifice. They're not going to want to go the extra mile because they're not all in. So just like a beautiful garden, sometimes you just got to get rid of the weeds so the good stuff can continue to
That's what
grow.
I'm doing. Right, right.
Yep. Good advice. How
Mhm.
about you, Gina? I'm sure you've had experience with
Yes,
people not showing up or late.
yes, yes. And that is always challenging. It's always challenging, expected, especially when you need the coverage, especially on busy days. It's very challenging. We have a way to where our attendants, they have to acquire their own coverage before they could take the day off. And majority of the time, someone from the team will say, I'll take the day or I'll cover it. And then if they don't, then we have team leaders. And then if that don't work out, I step in myself and I cover the days. But that is always challenging. And and I agree with Craig said that if you can weed out the bad ones, the good ones step up and it helps out a lot. But that's a challenging thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would also add people that would call in at the last minute or don't show up at all. That speaks of their character. And, if that persists, you have to deal with it because if you don't, the rest of the team that's doing what they're supposed to do will lose respect for you. So you can't be passive. You have to have a backbone in management. You have to make some hard decisions. I'm never mean or rude about it, but you either want to be here or you don't. And I will say this, one of the things that Amy said to me, and I would have to say she kept her word. When I was coming on board at Tampa Laundry Company, after making it a matter of prayer, I'm a man of faith. I prayed about, Lord, is this the right thing for me? And when I felt like I was given the green light, I said to Amy, Amy, I said, I'm going to come and work with you to build the organization. I said it would be my joy to work for you. She immediately stopped me in my tracks and she said, "Oh, no, Craig, don't ever say that. Don't ever use that terminology." She says, "No one that's employed by my company works for me." She say they all work with me. So there are times when we are just overloaded with work, can't seem to get anybody to come in. Hear me and hear me well. Amy Martinez Mumford will come down to the store as owner, roll her sleeve up, and work side by side with us. And boy, let me tell you something. If that doesn't motivate you, nothing will. Because
Yeah.
you know, so expect those sort of things. Try to have a game plan in place, uh, and don't take it personally. Some people just want the easy way out, and they're not committed. And so again, don't get discouraged. Keep doing whatever is necessary to find those quality people. They are out there.
Yeah, and you hear that phrase to hire slow, fire fast, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
What,
take your
what?
time to find the right person, but if
Yeah.
they're not
Right,
working out,
right.
so, okay, we have another good question. So when you both started your job, were there standing operating procedures that were in place when you were hired? And if not, have you been involved in helping to create them or update them?
So when I started working with the company, there is an extensive employee handbook. There were procedures in place. Now there's an old saying: "What got you to where you presently are won't get you to where you want to go." So Amy and I, we presently come together at the meeting of the minds, and we reevaluate what we're doing. And if it's still working, we continue that. If there is a better way to do it, then we amend some of the policies to stay current and to stay relevant. Uh, a successful business is an ever evolving entity. You either change with the times or you get left behind. I would also say you need to do that to stay healthy. Uh, Put policies and procedures in place that's keeping the company healthy. Anything healthy automatically grows. If your if your company has reached a plateau and the growth of the company has is stunted, it's time to reevaluate some things and change some policies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gina, were there SOPs for you, or have you been involved in helping to update or create those?
Yes, yes. Yes, there were no SOPs at the time when I started, but we are continuing to improve and creating SOPs, especially with the cleaning on the cleaning side.
So I'm pretty sure that both of your owners are on this, but I'm still gonna ask you if you could change one thing about the store you manage, and maybe you've shared this with them anyway, but if you could change one thing about the store you manage, what would it be?
Well, if I could change one thing about the store per se, as I stated earlier, we're coming up on our 10th anniversary. But before Amy purchased that building had been around for decades. So I have observed where a lot of our fast food restaurants are doing some remodeling, and they're doing that to kind of stay current. So if it was in the budget, and I don't have my heels dug in the dirt on this issue, but if it was in the budget, I would do some minor, and what I mean by minor, not something that costs in the thousands, but some minor cosmetic upgrades for the purpose of giving our building a more modern look. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying it looks shabby. I'm not saying we're working out of a shack. We have very large and very comfortable uh, working environment. But I do know there's people that come to your laundry facility for the first time. Before they ever get to meet the manager or the warm greetings from the staff, most of your first time uh, visitor impressions will be visual.
Yeah.
And so that curb appeal has to be inviting. The building has to be clean, and if we can get a modern look, that would be great too. But I do know this: Pe- people are more interested in how you make them feel when they do business with you, as opposed to what your building looks like.
Yeah. First impressions.
First
Yes.
impressions.
How about you, Gina? If you could change one thing about one of the stores, let's say, or what would it be?
Hmm. Honestly, I believe that Yvette and her husband did a great job hitting all the marks as far as the looks of the store, the cleanliness of the stores, and the layout. Um, I'm trying to think of one thing. I think I would change maybe storage area for supplies.
Yeah, never enough storage, I think, is what
Yes,
every owner always says.
really.
More parking, more storage.
Yes.
All right. So one of the audience questions has to do with wash, dry, fold services, which I believe I know Craig and both your stores do this. So this person, and I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, but in your opinion, what would be the pros and cons of operating a just self-service laundromat versus one with attendants offering wash and fold services?
Well, in our industry, we are there to serve people and to meet a critical need. So to answer that question, I would say both, because you have people based on their lifestyle. You have some that want to come in and, on the self-serve side, and do their clothes themselves. They have the time, they have the means. But then you have that businessman or that businesswoman who has to, source that out or have somebody do it. So I would say there are advantages to both of them. We do quite well on both sides. So we have the self-service side of the store that's open 24 hours a day, never closes. And to my amazement, when I started working with the company, you can look at our cameras 4 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes there's entire families in there, doing laundry. So we have that part of the store. Then we have where they can drop off and our attendants do it. But we also have the privilege of having a route service, which is very, very popular. So people call the store, they place an order, and then it shows up on our driver's manifest. And that order can be picked up from their home or office and returned within a 48-hour time slot. So all three of those aspects, we find all of them are needed and wanted by our extended family.
So Gina, I'm going to ask you the second.
Hello, hello, hello.
We see you, Jenny. We
Okay,
see you. Okay.
okay. You
You're, you're,
froze up.
you're, you're on the air.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. Um, the stores that I manage, they don't have, we don't offer the wash, dry, and fold services as of yet. Yvette and I have been talking about it as far as on one of the locations for a long time now, and I think we're going to offer one. So I can't give you my feedback on that, but I can give you on self-services. I think it's needed, and wash, dry, and fold is definitely wanted.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And as far as the wash dry fold, not only do we have people taking advantage of that, uh, some of them come in and want to know if they can get it back the same day.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, we get a lot of that. What do you think about it? People's lives are complicated. They're busier than ever, and
Mhm.
so Amy has a phrase that I love. She said, "Why don't you let us handle your laundry so you can do what you do best? Leave the laundry up to us."
I'm sorry if there was a slight glitch there. My laptop battery drained and I quickly had to
Oh,
grab a cord. So thank you
yeah.
guys for continuing to go.
Yes.
Um, all right. Well, thank you for answering that question. All right, I'm just kind of looking because there are a lot of questions. This should be a quick and easy one. So for each of your stores, who opens and closes the stores? Is it only you as manager, or are there key holders, or who opens and closes the stores?
I'll
Well,
go. Yeah. Okay,
oh,
go.
so our store is operated by a laundry card system. That laundry card also serves as a time clock system. So what we like to do at Tampa Laundry Company, we have scattered time slots. We have someone start at 7:30 in the morning, then we have more come in at 8, we have more coming at 9. So it's a scattered ship. So to answer your question, any of us that have the card can open up the store. Now, again, the self-serve side of our store never closes. It is always open. The public also always has access to that. Um, but on the attendant side, any of us can open up the store, and they're all trained to know how to do it properly.
At you, Gina.
Okay. Our operating hours on the stores I manage are 6:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night. Our last wash is at 9 o'clock. Our doors open up on a timer and they lock on a timer as well. So customers can come at 6:30 in the morning and self-serve. They don't have to, no one has to open the key, no one has to come there. They are already there. They can come in and out. Attendants are usually there from 8 until 4, the first shift, and then from 4 until closing, the second shift. And the same thing when the stores are closing at night, it's on a timer. So they automatically lock and open. So no one has to be responsible for a key.
That's great. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to balance our questions in these. So if for again the store owners who are on this and they're looking to hire a store manager, what skills do you think it takes to be a manager? What should they be looking for in candidates? Gina, do you want to start on this one?
Um, Person who can, I guess say multitask,
Mhm.
um, who can communicate well, um, who can I guess guide and teach others, very well.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know how to, because it's kind of hard, but I'm trying to think about myself. I'm a person who can, yeah, who can teach others well.
Yep.
and be fair. Someone who can be fair and dependable and someone you can count on and trustworthy. Definitely trustworthy.
Yes. Um, would you agree with all that, Craig?
I would, and I would also add a few additional ones. As you know, when you are the manager of a laundromat, that is a mid-level leadership position. You have the owner of the company above you, and then you have the team that serves with you or some slightly under you. So you have to have mid-level leadership skills. You're working with a team and you want to bring the best out of that team. So you need to have team building skills. You need problem solving skills. People who solve problems get paid. A mechanic solves car problems. A dentist solves tooth problems. You need to be able to solve problems and you need to have decision making skills. The last thing an owner wants is a manager that never brings any fresh ideas to the table or when an emergency occurs can't think for themselves. So you have to have decision making skills and then you have to have excellent people skills for both those on the team as well as customer relation skills. If you don't make that customer feel like they're the most important person you are going to encounter that day, they will take their business elsewhere.
Yeah.
Great, great
Yep.
answer.
Right down the street.
Great answer. Right.
Um, so we talked a little bit about what your favorite part of the job is, but kind of the opposite now. What would you consider to be the toughest part of your job?
Um, it's always hiring for me. Because
Yeah.
when interviewing, you only have like 15, 20 minutes to if decide if this is a great candidate. And I tried to think about the customers as well as the team, how they're going to mess with them. How are they going to have, how their personalities are going to be with the customers? Are they going to have a bright smile? Are they going to, be calm if there's an issue? Um, that's what's always is hard. And then when
Yeah.
someone's trying to get in, they think our job is easy and being an attendant is very hard. It's very difficult. It's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think across the board, we hear that as a struggle, no matter where your laundromat is the hiring. How about you, Craig? What would you say would be the toughest part of the job?
Toughest part of the job for me would be customer conflict resolution. Um, People are people are people. And sometimes they walk into your building upset, not necessarily at you. It could be someone cut them off in traffic, road rage. And so they have an attitude when they come through your doors. Other times we are at fault, and you have to know how to approach that customer with dignity, respect, be professional, and don't make promises that you can't keep. Do whatever you need to resolve that situation. I said in the article that a disgruntled customer is our competition's best prospect. And so you want to win that customer, you want to keep that customer because if that customer leaves angry, not only might you be in jeopardy of them leaving a bad review, they're going to tell several of their friends about their experience too. They're going to try their case in the court of public opinion. They're going to tell everybody that will listen how
All
awful
over
they were
social
treated.
media.
All social media, absolutely.
Mhm.
Another tough part is when you have to cut ties with a team member, and it's never personal. It's never personal, but you have befriended these people, you know some of their struggles, and then to tell them that you're going to be affecting their livelihood is a very, very hard thing to do. Uh, Amy says it this way. She says, if you feel comfortable with it, something's wrong with you. You're not supposed to feel comfortable telling people, bad news. But another struggle for me, and we can move on from here. I'm finding we we have come through the agricultural age where people made their living by farming. Then from the agricultural age, we went to the industrial age where the factories came in. Now we are in the information age. You can go to your personal computer, hit a button, have access to information all over the world. So this present generation, they are technology minded. We don't have a lot of young people that's interested in learning how to be laundry repairmen or women.
Yes.
So when equipment goes down, you may wait 4 weeks, 6 weeks before you can get an experienced person to come because there's such a scarce breed now. So, I don't know what the future holds in that. These guys make good money. I mean, the one we use, he charges $100 an hour and almost $200 for the trip, you know. But customers hate to come into your building and see out of order signs.
Yep.
So that's really frustrating because any machine that's inoperable in your laundromat is costing you revenue.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when that machine goes down, you want it to be repaired as soon as possible, and that's why as a manager, it would also do good for you to have some minor troubleshooting skills. Some of these minor things you might be able to repair yourself. But
Yep.
the major ones, when you have to order parts, it's frustrating because customers ask questions, and you're saying, "Well, listen, we've already contacted our repair guy. We're we're on his schedule." That's all you can say. So what's going to happen that day when we've got laundromats all over this country and just a handful of repairmen because the younger generation, they're not interested in this field.
Yeah. Yeah, we heard that a lot too.
Hmm.
All right, we're winding down, so I'm going to try to get to a couple more questions. This is a good one. So for each of you, how much latitude do your team members have to solve issues, or does that mainly fall on you as the
Oh,
manager?
wow. Um, our team does a really good at solving issues before it gets to me.
That's
And
great.
yes, they really have a lot of leeway in solving the problem. They do a great job. And then if they can't solve it or don't have the answer, then they'll call me.
Okay, that's good. So you're not having to solve everything.
No, none of it.
Well, actually, that should be a part of their training. And if you want to test your effectiveness as a laundry store manager, you won't know that until you see the team function in your absence.
So
If,
take a
if
vacation, huh?
take a vacation, and if the
Right.
wheels don't fall off while you're away from them, you're doing an effective job as a manager.
Right.
Yes, good
So
test.
so the test of my leadership is always when I'm not personally present. And so they need to be able to handle these issues without calling me on my vacation.
Yes, no one wants that.
No one wants that.
All right, I'm going to ask one last question, and this is my question. I like it because I know we do have store owners on here. So, um, those that are listening today, in your opinion, what do you think makes a great boss? What
Oh,
should these
wow.
store owners know that would make them a great boss to managers and attendants and their team?
Oh, wow. feel I have the greatest boss ever. Yeah. But I believe that a great boss would be a fair, supportive, um, um, but just a boss who understands and a boss who will listen. And if something goes wrong or if something don't make you feel bad about it or come down on you hard, but still at the same time let you know that, hey, this was important. Like Yvette always say to me, like, Gina, how could you have handled that different? And it always makes me think, how could I've handled that differently? So that's what I think makes a great boss.
Yep, I agree. How about you, Craig?
Well, I just want my dear new friend to know I'm not going to debate her, but there's no way that she can have the best owners because I do. But we can fight over that later, okay?
Okay.
Uh, but I would say this to the owners that may be listening in. If you if you are a parent, you understand how each child can be different, different personalities, different skill sets, different strengths, different weaknesses. And so I would say, first and foremost, great owners need to care for their team. Years ago, I heard something that just disgusted me to no end. I was talking to a successful business owner, and in her conversation to me, she referred to her employees that were instrumental in her and her husband's huge success as bottom feeders. And I thought to myself, these people who have broken their backs to help you build this company and succeed, why would you refer to them as bottom feeders? And I would never work for anyone that, you know, considered me to be a bottom feeder. I would say owners are leaders. They need to be caring and not just words. They need to show tangible demonstrations of how much they care. There's an old saying that says people don't care how much you know until they first know how much you care. Amy and her family last year went on a well-deserved vacation on the other side of the world. On the other side of the world. When she got back from this trip with her family, she had purchased me a beautiful new shirt and a key ring, which let me know, even on the other side of the world, at least on one occasion, I came across her mind. And to show her appreciation to me and to show me how much she cared and valued me, she brought this gift that was totally unexpected. And so, owners, remember this: the people that work for you or the people that work with you, they are that company's greatest asset. They are. No man becomes a success on their own. You have to have faithful, competent, trusted others to work there with you. And so I leave you with the words of the late Zig Ziglar to the owners, who said, help enough people get what they want in life, and in return, you'll get everything you want in life.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. So I'm going to share a couple additional resources, but first, I really want to thank Gina and Craig for all this fabulous information. I also want to thank Amy and Yvette for referring. You guys have wonderful managers, so you're all doing a great job. A few of our comments over here is people want to hire you. So Amy and Yvette, you better watch out. All right. I just want to share a few additional resources. So unfortunately, it's hard for us to get to all the questions. A few people asked about recording. This is recorded. It'll post on our YouTube channel, and you will get a follow-up email with a link if you want to go back, because I know some of you said you had to step away and you didn't hear your question, so you will have that opportunity. If your question didn't get answered and you still are looking for that information, I saw someone was asking about sample standard operating procedures. I encourage you to join our Facebook group. We have thousands of professionals on there. I'm sure someone could probably give you a sample that you could use, or at least direct you to some resources. So good place to ask more questions and get more information. So these are our upcoming virtual webinars. So every month we do one for people looking to get into the business. Our next one is May 13th. Our president and CEO, Brian Wallace, presents these, and he usually brings a guest with him that is a store owner. I believe the one coming up, we have Jamie Sewell, who is a store owner in Tampa. Just like Craig and Amy. We also have an initiative that is for women in laundry. We created the Women's Laundry Network, and we host our own monthly webinars. So we have one coming up on May 14th on innovations in technology in laundry. So we have some panelists who are going to share how they use technology in their laundromat to make things more efficient and more effective. And then finally, our next webinar that is a feature story in the May issue of Planet Laundry is the economics of laundromat ownership on May 28th. So if you go to our events calendar here, you can get more details on each of those, register. Those are all free webinars. We also do face-to-face local dinner networking events. So these are the ones that are coming up tomorrow night. We have one in Burlington, Massachusetts. I will be there. So if anybody's attending, I'll see you there. And the rest of these, each month we go kind of to different locations. It's at a restaurant. Again, 2 hours of just networking and a dinner. And the whole list for the rest of the year is located on our website at this URL. And then the big event that we have coming up this year, most of you have probably heard about the Clean Show. It's held every 2 years. It was held 3 years ago. COVID kind of messed up the schedule. We're back on a 2-year schedule, but it'll be August 22nd through the 26th in Orlando at the Convention Center. And for those of you who have never been, it is an enormously huge event, 10 to 12,000 people, hundreds and hundreds of exhibits. Every product and service you would ever want to learn about will be there. To make it a little more intimate for people in our industry, the vended laundry industry, CLA does host its own activities within the big show. So every morning we do some education sessions, kind of like we did today, all different topics. Wash, dry, fold, I know is one. We have one on biggest mistakes you ever made. So if you go on our website, you can see kind of the agenda. New this year, on Friday, we are doing a laundromat tour of laundromats in the Orlando area. So you'll get on a bus at the host hotel, the Rosen Center, and we'll take you around to several laundromats so you can see those. Our Laundry Cares Foundation will be doing a free literacy and laundry day at one of those laundromats, so you'll get to see that in action. Saturday, our Laundry Cares is doing a luncheon, and some of these are ticketed events that you need to register for. Again, our Women's Laundry Network, we will do a luncheon. We have a keynote speaker coming for the luncheon. The big celebration will be on Sunday night. CLA is turning 65, so we're doing a big anniversary reception. And then we're doing a happy hour on Monday night for our Women's Laundry Network. So again, if you go to our website, The Clean Show, you can see everything that is going on and register for some of these events if you're interested. All right, so with that, once again, thank you, Gina. Thank you, Craig. Thanks, Yvette and Amy, for letting us borrow them for the afternoon. Lots of great information, and I appreciate you all coming and hope to see you at the next one.
Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, thank you for letting us participate and contribute. And Gina, if I'm ever in the area, I'm going to drop in. But when I do, you tell everybody I'm your cousin, okay?
Okay.
Your family,
Gotcha.
right?
We're
We're
family.
family now.
That's right. Yes, we are.
All right.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right, dear. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.